Imagine being cast as one of Disney's most iconic characters, a role that little girls around the world have dreamed of for generations. Now imagine instead of being celebrated, you're facing a storm of backlash, angry fans, and industry professionals calling for your replacement. How does someone go from being one of Hollywood's rising stars to becoming one of the most hated Disney princesses of all time? Rachel Zegler managed to do just that with her portrayal of Snow White. But how did it all go wrong? Was it her controversial comments, her attitude, or just plain bad luck? In today's video, we're going to break down the exact moment when Rachel Zegler ruined her career and became the most hated Snow White. Stay tuned till the end because it's a jaw-dropping story you won't want to miss. Rachel Zegler, known for her breakout role in West Side Story, was once seen as the next big thing in Hollywood. Her talent was undeniable, her future seemed bright, and being cast as Snow White in Disney's live-action remake should have been the next step in solidifying her stardom. But things took a drastic turn, and Zegler found herself in hot water. From her comments about the original 1937 classic to her attitude towards the role, fans and critics alike felt alienated and, quite frankly, insulted. What should have been a career-defining moment turned into a PR nightmare, leaving many asking, did Rachel Zegler ruin her career with Snow White? Let's dive into the details and find out. The casting controversy. Rachel Zegler's journey as Snow White started with controversy. The moment Disney announced her casting, fans were divided. Zegler is Latina, and while representation is important, many people felt that casting someone who didn't match the character's iconic skin white as snow description wasn't true to the original tale. This wasn't just about being literal, it was about respecting the source material. Many fans were upset that Disney seemed to be prioritizing modern diversity at the expense of the story's authenticity. Some even felt that this decision was more about checking diversity boxes than respecting the beloved character that Snow White has always been. Even conservative commentators like Ben Shapiro chimed in, stating that casting Zegler was a fundamental misunderstanding of the role. While Zegler responded to this controversy by downplaying the importance of her appearance, her dismissive attitude didn't sit well with fans who wanted to see a faithful adaptation of the story. Her comment that she didn't want to participate in nonsensical discourse came off as detached and uninterested in the concerns of those who loved the original Snow White. The prince is a stalker. But the casting controversy was just the beginning. Things got worse when Rachel Zegler started giving interviews about the movie. In one of her most infamous comments, she referred to the prince from the original movie as a stalker. You heard that right. The charming prince who wakes Snow White from her cursed sleep with true love's kiss was, according to Zegler, a creep. Now, it's one thing to want to modernize a story, but this comment sparked outrage. Fans couldn't believe that she would so casually insult a central part of the classic fairy tale. The prince wasn't just a love interest. His kiss symbolized true love, a key theme in many Disney films. Zegler's remarks suggested that the film would be moving away from the traditional romance aspect, a change that many felt was completely unnecessary. This comment added fuel to the fire, with some fans wondering if Zegler even understood the role she was playing. Snow White's story is, at its core, about love, kindness, and purity of heart. By dismissing the prince's role as outdated or problematic, Zegler alienated a large portion of the Disney fanbase who cherished the original love story, insulting the 1937 classic. But Zegler didn't stop there. She made it clear in several interviews that she wasn't a fan of the original 1937 animated Snow White. In fact, she admitted she had only seen the movie once as a child and was terrified of it. She even recalled avoiding anything related to Snow White after a negative experience on Disney's Snow White's Scary Adventures ride at the theme park. This attitude struck a nerve with fans. It's one thing to have a personal preference, but for an actress to openly mock and distance herself from the very film she's supposed to be honoring felt like a slap in the face. The original Snow White is one of Disney's most cherished movies, and Zegler's disdain for it came across as disrespectful. Not just to the film itself, but to the millions of fans who have loved it for generations. To make matters worse, Zegler doubled down on her criticism, describing the 1937 Snow White as outdated and implying that it was no longer relevant. This didn't go over well with fans who believed that the timeless themes of the original should be preserved rather than dismissed as relics of the past. Snow White becomes a leader. In her interview, Zegler also revealed that the new Snow White wouldn't be dreaming of true love or waiting to be saved by a prince. Instead, she would be a leader, inspired by her father's legacy. While empowerment and independence are great qualities, many fans felt that this new interpretation of Snow White was being forced into a modern feminist mold rather than respecting the character as she was originally written. Not every story needs to be about leadership or power. Snow White, as originally conceived, was about kindness, resilience, and hope. Zegler's comments made it seem like these qualities were somehow not good enough, which only deepened the divide between her and the fan base. Critics were quick to point out that not every woman needs to be portrayed as a leader or warrior to be strong. Snow White's strength came from her ability to stay hopeful and kind despite the hardships she faced. By turning her into a character focused on leadership, the filmmakers and Zegler seemed to be missing the point entirely. The woke remake. As if all this wasn't enough, Rachel Zegler's portrayal of Snow White also became associated with Disney's ongoing trend of woke remakes. In addition to changing Snow White's character, the live-action film made headlines for eliminating the 7 dwarves and replacing them with magical beings to avoid offending anyone. This change, along with Zegler's casting and comments, made it clear that the remake was more concerned with modern social agendas than honoring the original story. Even David Hand, the son of the original Snow White's director, weighed in, calling the new direction insulting to his father's legacy. He, like many fans, felt that the remake was completely missing the charm and essence of what made the 1937 film a masterpiece. The pay controversy. As if all the negative attention wasn't bad enough, Zegler also stirred up controversy during the ongoing Hollywood strikes by making a comment about her pay. She suggested that if she had to stand in a Disney dress for 18 hours a day, she deserved to be paid for every hour the movie was streamed online. While fair compensation is an important issue, many felt that her tone came off as entitled, especially given her position as the film's star and the significant paycheck she was already receiving. This added to the growing perception of Zegler as someone who didn't appreciate the opportunity she'd been given. Instead of coming across as a hard-working actor fighting for fair pay, she seemed out of touch with the realities of the industry and insensitive to the struggles of her fellow cast members. So, what can we take away from all of this? Rachel Zegler's downfall as Snow White wasn't due to a single misstep, but a series of bad decisions, tone-deaf comments, and a complete lack of respect for the material she was entrusted with. Instead of embracing the role and connecting with fans, she alienated them at every turn. In the end, it's not just about being a good actress, it's about understanding the legacy of the character you're playing and respecting the audience that loves them. As for Rachel Zegler, the future of her career remains uncertain. With rumors swirling about her being replaced or the movie facing delays, it's clear that her time as Snow White has been anything but magical. What do you think? Did Rachel Zegler ruin her career with her portrayal of Snow White, or is this just a case of bad luck? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.